Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this weekend market update, we're going to talk about the Qs and focusing on the Qs today. Talk about a couple of key indicators and then take a look at the dollar index and see what's going on with that. Let's start off here with the side-by-side of the industrials, the S&P and the Nasdaq. The Dow was up 125 points, so a little inside, slightly up type candle in here, inside the prior week range. When you take a look at the S&P, up 73.34, almost became a bullish engulfing type candle, but not quite, but back above the 10-week moving average. The Nadaq 100 over here up 280 points, and it was a bullish engulfing the body of the prior week. So it'll be interesting to see. Is that it? Is that the bottom of it? We're going to take a look at the Qs here. Oh, by the way, I titled this, the limb didn't break, so now what? Because, I felt like last week we were talking about that the market was out on a limb and that it just could give way at any moment. It just looked like that was about to break. And every time it has an opportunity to break, it just doesn't do it. And we've had a lot of stocks. All you got to do is just scroll through a list of the tech stocks, AI stocks, all the theme stocks, whether you're talking about quantum computing or nuclear, whatever, a lot of stocks have gotten smashed. So, yeah, we've been through one heck of a corrective phase, but yet the indices have done nothing. Okay, so let's take a look at the Qs. The weekly on the Qs still continues to look like it's a large broadening pattern, broadening top. But I've seen way too many of these type of patterns just fail. I mean, you think you're getting something and then nothing materializes. So just keep that in mind right now. We're going to focus in on what's been going on since October here. Let's take a look at the daily view. Here's that range we've been in, basically the low around 581 to 637. We haven't taken it out. We're talking about the October 29th high as kind of the peak. We got really close here on January 28th, but didn't take it out. So when I look at the Elliott Wave picture that I've got, my primary count says that it looks like we had intermediate wave 3 peaking at the end of October, and that we have an ABC, corrective flat wave that's underway with a C wave underway. Now, the thing to keep in mind is because we have, wait a minute, I did this too soon. Let me go to here. Because we have a three-wave situation, this could also morph into some kind of three-wave, a big sideways triangle. I mean, it may very well be that that's all we continue to do is gyrate sideways in a corrective pattern. Now, I think that's going to make itself pretty clear here very, very soon over the next few weeks. And the alternate count that I've got is a fairly bullish, pretty strong bullish count that says this entire move here coming off of the lows back in April is wave 1, and that maybe we had a flat right here that ended here on the 17th, I think it was, February 17th. Let me double check that low right here. Because when I look, when you go into an intraday count, this looks like a potential little 5-wave move down. So we could have an abbreviated C wave that ended right here. That's just a little over 61.8% of A. Normally, when I think of an ABC like this, I think of a target of C equaling A, but right now, it's gone at least a Fibonacci 61.8% of A. So we'll see what we get in here. But if this starts to take out the highs, like the February 11th high, then the January 28th high, then I am moving into a bullish scenario. And there's even a more bullish scenario than this. Okay, there's a bullish count that says, okay, what just happened here was really a wave 2, that this was 1, 2, and that we're in a third minor wave up. And I'm not even going to go into that kind of detail unless we start to take out the highs, and especially take out the January 28th high. Okay, but this is the one alternate that I'm thinking about right now. So we'll see which way this market wants to go this coming week. I know we're going to get NVIDIA. I can't remember what day, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, that it has earnings out. And that's going to spark, put some fireworks into things, I'm sure. Let's take a look at a couple of indicators. I want to look at the, let's see, let's start off with the McClellan oscillator first. So the McClellan oscillator is sitting at a plus 30.6. Let's round it and say 31. To me, that is dead neutral. I think of a neutral zone as plus or minus 50 in here. This is a zero line all the way across. Okay. The one thing that jumps out at me, this looks like just kind of like what I just got done talking about, right, with the market. This looks like it's coiling. Okay. This looks like it's getting ready to unload one way or the other. Okay. So when you look at the summation index, if I can get it to cooperate, I'm going to have to move it, pull it over. I got a lot of data. The summation index, which is a summation of the oscillators, it just keeps pushing higher, kind of confirming a bullish scenario, kind of in sync with the advanced decline line, really. And so, and really this is tied, the McClellan oscillator is tied to, breadth mathematics and the data coming off of the breadth. So this is reinforcing a continued move to the upside here. And then when I take a look at, and I should have just left it open, when I take a look at the equity put to call ratio, we're at a 10-day ratio of 0.67. And this again is equity only. Okay, so it doesn't include put to call activity on indices or on the S&P 500. Now, this is the highest reading since April 16th of last year, okay, with all that downdraft. So you go back, we've not gotten a 0.67. We haven't reached that kind of put activity until you go all the way back to mid-April. So where is that? Let's just do it on the Qs. Let me go back to the moving average view. Let's go back to the Qs. Here's where we're talking about, right here. After a huge decline, okay, which is amazing to me because we haven't had a huge decline. Yeah, we had a pretty good little downdraft here in November, and all we've done is really chop sideways and correct sideways. So are we getting the indication that maybe this corrective pattern has kind of run its course and getting ready to pop to the upside? We'll see. We got to take out a high here on February 11th, which is, what is that high? Doesn't want to give it to me. 617.52. And then the high up here, 636.60. I rounded it to 637. So yeah, we start pushing higher and taking out these prior short-term highs. And yeah, we're going to be off to the races, I think, at least for a couple of months. I mean, we may still run into a fairly decent intermediate top mid to late April, maybe even into early May. Now, let's take a look at the dollar index. So the dollar index was down just a little bit on Friday, down 13 cents. You could see, yeah, we're in a pretty good downtrend when you look at the daily and or the weekly. For the week, it was up 88 cents, though. A little bit of a continued move, continued push in here. But the long-term Elliott Wave picture I've got is I still think that I'm looking for a fifth intermediate wave to finish off the 5-wave move down here from minor 3. It just looks like we are breaking down out of this major channel, upward channel. Now, you get yourself into this kind of mindset and you start thinking like this, and everybody's talking about a weak dollar. And then you get this. Dollar in decline. Cover story of Barron's today. Or, well, they say the issue date is for Monday, but it was issued today, put in print today. U.S. currency has lost its dominance. What investors should do now? Okay. So, if you believe in magazine cover sentiment as being a contrarian indicator, this gives you pause. Kind of like what this guy is saying. Oh boy. Yeah, it does give you a little pause that, well, maybe we go a little bit further down and then that's all she wrote until we get a bigger counter trend type move. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where we sit with the dollar. From my perspective, it sure is, or it sure has been trending down quite a bit. And when I look at this move right here, it looks like a potential setup for a further swing move to the downside should it break that little trend line on the daily count. So, all right, that's it for today. We'll see what happens this coming week and see what unfolds. Everyone have a great week. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, hit that little subscriber button. Have a great week.